Okay, more heartbreak. For those of you who know, ouch, poke myself. For those of you who know that I lost my Note 5 due to bad camera. Pretty much, it's just the tedious thing. So I have a name randomizer app, and I thought it was pretty good. It's a little buggy, but for the most part, it looked nice and worked great. And I was going to use that to randomize my Millennium Blade setup, and it took me a long time to input all the set names, and that's not to mention, we don't have the expansion yet, which is going to add like another 30 sets. So, anyways, now I lost it because all those names didn't input, and so now I gotta look for that app. I gotta re-enter all the set names. I guess that'll give me something to do. It's just gonna be kind of a pain in the butt because I already I made up the starter deck, and I just got done shuffling that sucker. So, man, what a pain in the butt. Anyway, yeah, and I don't have all the. I mean, I have the. It's just a lot of stuff, a lot of work. Anyways, let's get back to All Creatures Great and Small. I just downloaded the app. Looks like someone just created one. It's a generic looking, simple, and it'll work just fine. What I normally would do is, because it's a Note phone, is I would take the scorecard like this, and I'd just take a picture of it, and then do screen write, and then write all over it. So, and I wouldn't grab it with my right hand because I'm left-handed, so I would just write it in, and then score it like that. But this actually multiplies and adds and stuff, so I don't have to work my poor little brain. So I have the app there. Oh, actually I don't have it. That is the sample. Oh no, that is it. I thought I was looking at the sample picture, but that's actually the app. Red and blue. See, it's got red and blue player, sheep, pig, cow, horse, expansions, and cottage. Or I guess they'd be complete buildings or pens. If you have 0 to 3 of anything, it's a negative 3 points. So you want to have multiples of stuff at least. Alright, so we'll set that aside, set this aside. Let's go do a rules overview, and then we'll play a couple of rounds. Let's go step by step. How about that? So the goal of the game is to have the most animals and the most points at the end. So let's see. Oh, okay. So the number here, that's not points. The number in the little red box. Let's see if I can grab one and get behind the camera or behind the phone. So the cottage has a number right there in the lower right corner. It's a 1. So that's the capacity of the building. This country house, for example, can hold 3 animals. It gives you cows, it looks like. But yeah, it can hold 3 animals. The cottage can hold 1. This one is the pig stall, so obviously it can only hold pigs. And this one can hold 3. Cow stall can hold 3 cows. Something that should have tipped me off was my Note 5 camera was really having a hard time autofocusing, even though it was set to autofocus, and this phone does it really fast without issue. So that should tip me off. But knowing me, there's a breeding station. Knowing me, I'll just run it till it breaks, and that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what the phone did. It broke. So there are those. We're not going to be using these. We'll just be using those 4. So I should just throw these back in the bag. But I guess I can mix and match. So I could take these 4 out for any 4 here. But I tried that once. I was playing with someone else. And it just made the game a lot harder. Especially for people who... I had only played it a couple times. And then it was my first time teaching it. And... I mean, we basically learned the game together. And she was a good sport about it. But it would just made a simple game harder. A lot harder. Okay. Ouch. So, rules of the game. Rules of raising animals. Keep the animals in the pastures. And they don't multiply unless there's 2 of them, obviously. Unless, of course, it's here. So, you're allowed to have pastures with unfinished borders. Unfinished pastures cannot hold any animals, however. They just run away. Doesn't matter if the borders are made of wood as fences or stone as walls. You do not need and should not distinguish between them afterward. So the default space can contain 2 animals per space. So we can have 2 of the same type of animal. I think you can mix and match, but they don't multiply if they're different, right? Let's see. Well, maybe not. So, let's just say 2 animals per space of this. Oh yeah, okay. Each pasture can only hold a single animal type. So each of these squares is a pasture. It can only hold a single animal type. And maximum of 2, unless you have special multipliers. When building gets built adjacent to pre-existing borders, the borders illustrated on the building do not provide any additional benefit. You may not return the previously built borders to your supply. Right, so if this person had 2 borders here, and then they built a building, let's build a stall. I think there's some buildings that don't always have 4 fences. I can't remember. Maybe they do. So you have stone. I mean, the walls in this building count as stone. And you got 1 here and 1 here. So this is complete. And animals can multiply in there. But you can't return. You can't be like, oh, you know what? But I want to expand this more. So you can't return this to your supply. Just because you have that. Or I guess if someone built a building over here, you can't be like, well, I don't need this anymore, so I can put it back in my supply. No, you can't. It just stays wasted. So there's a little bit of planning involved. It says there's 4 stall tokens, but there's 5. Oh well. So yeah, so you want to plan accordingly. Build your fences. Animals, they don't max out. You can stick an animal there, right? And it'll just hang out by itself until it has a pen around it, and you can start doubling up. Or troughs, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the troughs will allow you to double the animals in the space. Keeping animals in buildings. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. So if we have a stall here, you can keep 3 animals in there. They'll hang out like that. I think you can mix and match those. Unless it's specified. Let's see. See, they have timbered house. Lets you upgrade your cottage and keep additional animals. So where is that? Have timbered. Huh. So I guess it upgrades your cottage, so it just goes on top. You can keep 2 animals, so just 1. Which I don't... It's not that great. Stalls and stables can each hold up to 3 animals of the same type. Okay, so you can't mix and match. 3 animals of the same type. The stall costs 3 stone and 1 reed. Reeds, not wheat. And stone, not coal. Okay. But wood is still wood. When When upgrading a regular stable, simply turn the stall tile over. Yep. In addition to the regular stables, there's also one open stable tile. In the game, it is a special kind of stables. Open stables are a special building, which is this one. Holds 5, and immediately you get either 1 cow or 1 horse. Ooh. Alright. You can upgrade it to a stall. What? And a stall can be upgraded to stables. That's weird. Oh, you don't know. It just means you can upgrade it. Okay. So, this is some symbology at the top of the tile. So, here, I'll show you real quick. I hope I'm not wasting too much time. I'm probably wasting a lot of time. I'm a little tired right now. So, at the top you can see this is the cost to build this building. Well, actually it costs 5 to purchase it. Is that how it works? But you need these things to transform it, to upgrade it. What does it become? Oh, it becomes an open stable. Right, okay, so they become other buildings. Over here, you just have the cost. 2 wood and 1 stone to build a shelter. And then immediately you get one of those animals and you can hold 1 in there. This one, the half-timbered house, is your, I guess it upgrades your cottage. That's what it says in the book. That's the icon on the cottage. Yeah, okay. And then stables, open stables. You spend either 3 wood or 3 stone, and you get to upgrade a stable. First, you have to upgrade the stall. So you would do this, and then you would upgrade the stall. Flip it over. You need to pay 5 wood or 5 stone to upgrade the stall. Yeah. Okay. There's that. Maybe I should read the book. Let's see, costs and prerequisites for the building. Yep. Okay, points for the building. Scoring category, immediately get something. And then maximum numbers you can hold. So, keeping animals within the feeding troughs. So, let's see. So you can put troughs inside the stalls. So let's say you have, let's use the example in the book. So you have a pen here. It's got 3 spaces, right? The stall can hold 3 max. Each of these pastures can hold 2 of the same type of animal. And then the stall can hold 3. Let's do this. I was going to put horses in there, but I think you'll be able to see the sheep better between the 2 darker animals. So, but when you add a trough, it doubles the amount of animals you can hold in a pen. So we'll add one of these troughs. So now 6 sheep can be in there. I think if you do this. Now hold 6. Right? And then let's see. So the 3 different types. 2 plus 3 plus 2 is 7 animals. 2 plus 3 plus 2 is 7, right? No trough in there yet. the other example it gives. So this is where it gets a little tricky. So this is the example that has cottage. Let's do it on mine, because even though I can read upside down, sometimes I have a problem transposing upside down. So their example is this. And they built a 2-space pasture. Right. So, and then they put a trough in here and a trough in the cottage. So the trough will double the amount of animals you can have in any one space. So, oh, and they put a trough in the stall also. So since the stall can have 3 animals, because the trough is in there, now it can have 6. So we'll have sheep with the 4 multiplier. I don't know if you can see that. Just put that there. There's 4 plus 2 sheep. And then each pasture can hold 2. So you'd have 2 plus 2 times 2. Order of operations. These 2 are in parentheses, and then the multiplier is the trough times 2, so it's 8 points altogether. But we'll have or 8 altogether. So you can have 2 horses here. Now that's 2 pastures, but it's 1 single pen, so they all have to be the same kind of animal to be in there. Oops. There's 2, but they count as 8 now, or you can have 8. And then this is open, or I'm sorry, you have one animal in the cottage, but because there's a trough in there, you can now have 2 in there. If you have an open pen, it still can't hold any animals because they just run off. But if you have a trough in it, then it's enough to hold 1 animal, keep it busy, and keep it from wandering off. So you get a maximum of 1 feeding trough in each occupied or unoccupied farm space. So each of these pastures or each of these squares are farm spaces. So each of these can hold up to 1 trough in them. You're allowed to enclose a pasture around a pre-existing feed trough. In that case, the feeding troughs affect changes to suit its new surroundings. So yeah, so you can build a trough in any one space, and you can build stuff around it, right? So I can go, oh, we're gonna build this, build that, right? And the trees don't automatically border, doesn't automatically count as fences. I don't think. I think you need to build fences around that because they can just wander in the woods. So we could have an expansion here, for example, right? And that's still not enclosed, but what if we built some buildings, right? Right here. There, now it's enclosed. Oh, not that one here. There, now it's enclosed, right? In which case this would be 2 plus 2 plus 2 times. Wait. No. How do you do that? 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. Oh my gosh. So 6 times 8 is 48. See? Now it gets complicated. Yeah. So we should probably get started in the gameplay. Let's see. Here. You're allowed to upgrade a stall with a feeding trough to a stable with a feeding trough. The feeding trough remains. So, if I want to upgrade the stall, you just upgrade it to the stables, and whatever was in it stays in there. Trough, the animal stay in there. Let's see. Once anything is built, it cannot be moved or removed. Animals, on the other hand, can run around. You are therefore allowed to move animals around or remove them from your farm at any time. Moving animals around is also important if you want to make the best use of the space at your disposal. Refill phase. At the start of each round, refill some of the action spaces on the game board with the goods printed on them. So they do start. So the arrows on the board means you refill them, right? So this will get 2 coal, or sorry, stone, 1 there. There's 3 wood here. And then first player token and 1 wood here. These do not get refilled. This one does. I guess this is the fence piece, and it gets 1. See, 1 fence plus 1 expansion. So maybe we'll do that. So I don't know if you can see it, but I have 1 fence piece there on top of an expansion, and every time we have to refill it, then we'll go here. Or I guess put the fence piece there. It's easier to track the turns. And then that's it. The farm animals. So as long as this action space is not used, a sheep is added to it in subsequent rounds. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, so every round this is going to get 1. Right? Yeah, wow, that's pretty powerful. So these things get from your stores of fence pieces, and then these count the rounds. So every round, if no one gets that, it gets another one. So that's pretty powerful. You can just go in here and grab. Well, you get 1, I guess. You get 1 here, but it'll continue to get 1 additional. So it could have all these like 5 here, right? But you only get 1 plus an expansion. So there's that. The non-parentheses ones only refill at the end of each round if they've been used. So if for some reason there's a pig there already and no sheep, maybe you just want the sheep, pull that off, and then it's not going to get an additional cow or a pig, but it'll get a sheep because that's in parentheses. If you just took the pig, then next round comes along and then you'd add 1 sheep to it, and 1 pig next round. Or actually no, as long as it's not used. So this is how it would go actually. If no one chose pig and sheep, next round comes along and then 1 more sheep comes along. That's how it works. Sheep comes here too. Or here. So the sheep will continue to multiply to the most abundant animal. Okay, refill phase. So that's that. After all the actions have been taken, new round starts. Refill all the spaces with the arrows hanging off of them. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Then the work phase. Okay. So refill. So we'll go through, use the board. That's actually, we'll start at the work phase, the very first turn, and then get our actions. And then the next turn, next round, then we'll do the refill, and then we'll refill all these spaces that were used up, and then we'll start working again. Home phase. At the end of the work phase, all workers return to their farms. So these will have been in different spaces, and then at the end of the work phase, after you get all your stuff, they all come back to your farm. And then animal breeding phase. So animals breed at the end of each round. If you have at least 2 animals of the same type, you receive another one of the same type, if you have space for it. So you can get at most 1 sheep, 1 pig, 1 cow, and 1 horse per breeding phase. So, let's see. Yeah, when I first played this with my brother, we were getting 1 per pair of animals. Like, so we get 1 horse here and 1 horse here. If there were 3 pigs in 1 pen, we get 1 more, which you would. But, or if we had 6, we'd get 3, right? Which is not right. You only get 1 of each. So, 4 horses, you get 1 additional horse, 1 additional sheep, 1 additional cow, so on and so forth. Okay. Ooh. We'll spill that. Okay. I'm tired. It's 11 right now. Okay. Getting about ready to play by myself. Okay, so when you go here, whether you need the pig or the sheep, you take them all. And if you don't need both animals, you just let them run away. And they'll return to the pot. Okay. So the starting player does not switch. That's the importance of the first player thing here. So whoever's the start player, just they're that. And then if no one picks this, or if the blue player, let's say the red starts, if blue player never picks this, then the red player is the first player of the entire game. Components run out. Let's see. Okay, so for the most part, resources are unlimited. Fence pieces are not. Troughs are limited. And what else? There's one more thing. Oh, and then the stalls, the buildings. So once these are gone, they're gone. And once the stalls are used up, they're used up. And once these expansions are used up, that's it. It doesn't end the game though. Only these end the game. Right. Oh. Oh, I see. So if there are 4 in here, if you go in there, you take them all. But you're not able to place them the turn that you acquire them. So they just go into your stores as surplus. I think you still have to pay to build them. So, which is kind of suck. Yeah. So this tells you can build 2. and then for anything additional, then you pay 2 stone for every fence piece. This one is just for every wood that you pay, you may take from your store 1 fence piece. That's how it works. Okay. Oh, excuse me. All right. Yeah, let's do it. I think I'm ready.